Hello, everybody, and welcome to Strategize Your Business Online, the live for entrepreneurs like yourself who are looking for ways to grow your brand in the online space. My name is Dee Boswell-Buck, and I am the certified digital marketing strategist behind Boswell-Buck Creative Consulting. And what we do is we help you to connect with your ideal clients or your dream clients in the online space with strategy. So, welcome back to Strategize Your Business Online. And I say welcome back because I took a little bit of a hiatus. I took the last 2 weeks of summer off, even though it's not the official last 2 weeks of summer. But I am so glad to be here. And I am with my fabulous guest who I'm going to introduce to you right now. So, first of all, I will give her the official intro. This is for Hadriana Leo. Hadriana Leo helps women build financial confidence, create aligned wealth strategies, and accelerate their results. She does this through her work as a wealth strategist, coach, speaker, author, and consultant. Her unique methodology frees women to confidently and unapologetically create wealth. Hadriana Leo is the Money Navigator. Hadriana Leo, welcome to Strategize Your Business Online. How are you today?
Thank you, Dee. I am doing just fine, and I'm so happy to be part of this live series. I'm excited to share with your audience and to, just have a conversation about what's happening with women and money these days.
Yes, I'm really excited to have you here, especially to speak about that because and it's very timely as well. There's a lot of things with regards to women and our finances and our mindset. And then add on top of that, we have what's going on with the economy. And I'm not too sure if they've officially called a recession right now. I don't know if they have they done that yet? Do you know?
They won't say the words. They're still fighting inflation and trying to control it. And I think for the most part, avoiding the label. But I actually don't pay too much attention. I pay enough attention so I know what's going on. But I'm not too worried about the titles that they put on it. I'm more concerned about how it's impacting the actual person. What is the average human woman feeling? And how can I be of service to help alleviate some of the strain, help them still have extraordinary outcomes, even when the circumstances may not be the best? Because truth is, big secret, it'll never be the perfect time. So we still have to
Right.
do what we've got to do.
Right. So before we get into that, I would love for the audience to know a little bit more about you. I'd love to know about your journey, how it is that you got started, and yes, how did you become Hadriana Leo, the Money Navigator?
Yeah, well, I'll give you the Coles Notes version because it could be quite a winding road of a journey. But leading me to starting my coaching business was my own personal experience, and isn't that usually the case? We face a circumstance that we're troubled by or challenged by, and in creating solutions for ourselves, we realize that others can benefit from some of the solutions that we implemented. So, sure enough, and this may not be the typical woman, but I started out as a traditional financial advisor. I was managing within a firm that held hundreds of millions of dollars in client assets. And in advising and growing and learning within that environment, I was still bouncing checks. I was still paying
Mm.
one credit card off with another one. And my personal finance habits were just horrible. And I was starting to feel the strain, as you can imagine. Anyways, I realized that there was a disconnect between what I was taught and what I knew about personal finance and what I was actually implementing and why. So that part of the journey, when I got frustrated enough When I got upset enough and when I was just tired of all of this nonsense that was happening with me and my money, I started looking for solutions, and I came upon behavioral financial um, planning, which really takes into consideration who you are and how you relate to money, and using that as a secret sauce to do well and to do better and to eliminate habits and create new ones and all of that good stuff. So, coming through that experience myself and realizing that others would benefit as well, because I was not the only financial professional in a mess financially, I
Hmm.
realized that there was an opportunity to help others. And so I studied more. I did some more courses, human behavior, understanding how we do what we do and why we do what we do, and increased my knowledge on personal finance, managing multiple businesses, doing that side hustle thing where you want to keep your full-time job and still make some money, investing and all of that good stuff. And then I get to offer that to other women who say, you know what? I need the help, and if you can help me, I'll take it. So that's kind of the Coles Notes version, the abridged version of how I got to where I am today.
That's very interesting. And before we continue, I mean, as you said, like a lot of entrepreneurs, we're doing something in our 9 to 5, and then we're taking it and we're doing it in our business. So, what I would love to know is that if there's anyone watching the live right now, feel free to put your name in the chat. Let us know who you are, what it is that you do, introduce yourselves to each other. And this is very interactive. If you have any questions, just make sure that you add them to the comments. So, Hadriana, you mentioned that you were going through a bit of a financial challenge yourself, and then you decided to do this on your own. Did you have was there any mindset issues like, oh, here, who am I to do this when I'm going through this? And what made you, I guess, push through or decide to start your own business to help other women with their finances?
Well, I'll be honest with you. At the beginning, I did not let anybody know that I was the financial mess that I was. I kept that hidden and I kept it well hidden. I approached my burgeoning client base as if I had it all figured out and I knew everything and I got it all together. And while I wasn't lying technically, I wasn't lying. I just wasn't being as open as I could be. And as a result, it was not an authentic experience. So in my mind, I was still being a hypocrite. So before I knew better, I was the financial advisor helping people manage millions of dollars and a mess myself, hypocrite. Now I'm supposed to be this coach who knows it all when I just started out, and have it all figured out and letting people think, even if not saying it directly, that I had it all together. Again, I was being a hypocrite. My headspace was a mess. Let me just be honest. My headspace was a mess, not only from the point of I was trying to figure my own stuff out, but I was also putting out this vision to the world that was not a lie, but it was not authentic. So in the mind space, I made a lot more progress once I started to be authentic with where I am to myself and to any prospects that I would have the opportunity to work with. And once I started offering services from a place of authenticity, it was easier for me to manage my mindset. Now, I didn't say that my mindset was miraculously corrected or fixed or reset permanently. I said it was easier to manage my mindset because the truth is the circumstances of how I was brought up, the situations that I dealt with as a female in a predominantly male personal finance and money management space, all of these things, together with my own perceptions of the world, mean that I'm up against challenging thoughts fairly consistently. And I have to consistently manage that mindset. So, a work in progress.
Right. I love that you're so authentically honest about that. I would like to say hello to Olajuwon from Lafayette, Louisiana. Thank you so much for watching the live. And he says, I love that. There are rarely fixes for everything, but easier ways to manage our challenges. So true. So true.
Absolutely.
Mm,
And it's wonderful because the challenges keep coming. I think one of the misconceptions we have about money is that once I have money, all of my difficulties will go away. Ha, yeah, no. You're trading the issues that you have today for other challenges. And in truth, if you think to yourself that every challenge, again, mindset, if you think to yourself that every challenge you face is designed to help you get better, you kind of welcome them because you don't want to stagnate in your personal growth, in your financial growth, your spiritual growth, any sort of areas of your life. You don't want to stagnate. So don't think that money is going to miraculously take all your problems away. No, you're just creating an environment where you have met one challenge, you have learned, you have grown, and now you're ready to face another challenge that will also help you to learn and grow.
right, right. So overcoming challenges. And would you say that sometimes overcoming those challenges include new habits that need to be maintained as
Absolutely.
well?
100%, because we are humans and we are creatures of habit. And the truth would be that the results that you're hoping to realize are going to be born or it'll come out of what you do consistently. So that habit. What are the actions that you're taking consistently, and how are they going to create the results that you want? So, everything that you're going to work to do differently requires one habit to change and another to be created. And I don't want to
Right.
overthink it, but essentially, we're creating new from the ingredients of the old. We're taking what was, we're tweaking it, we're refining it, we're adjusting it. And from that, we are creating new ways of doing things, of being, that will allow us to get the results that we want. So, yes, habits all the time. And anyone who says they don't have a habit, you have habits. We all
Right.
do.
Right. Now, I like to do a lot of research on people who are going to be on the show, and I noticed on your website, like your tagline or one of the lines that you have is connecting women, wealth, and purpose. What does that mean to you, Hadriana?
Yeah, it means for me personally, and for the women that I do my best work for, it means finding that secret, sweet spot, magic ingredient that's actually going to help us as women grow into wealth creating machines in alignment with
Mhm.
who we are and why we're here. Now, I think that for most of us, the reason why we have this conflict with wealth is because what we've seen of wealth does not align with who we want to be or how we want to experience the world. Because mainstream media shows us wealthy people doing stupid things. Let's just be honest. It shows us people who have money and seem to be wasting it, wasting their lives, wasting our time because we're scrolling past them as we go up the social media feeds, not
Right.
making the kind of impact on the world that we want to make. So we're like, what's this wealth thing? I want it, but I don't want it. What's going on? And I found for myself personally that the correct way or the best way to approach wealth is through the lens of purpose. And that's why I speak specifically more so to women, because we are the ones who typically have the hardest time going after wealth. We seem to have the most resistance there.
Right. I noticed that when I asked you that question, you talked about becoming a wealth creating machine. And that term just sounds so powerful. And I love it, especially because most often, we as women, most often women, we don't feel the word wealth, or we don't feel the word machine means that this is something that is not just a one-time thing. It's something that can be maintained.
Mhm.
Very
Yes.
powerful.
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
the beautiful thing about, if you followed how we went from handcrafting everything to creating things with machines, as we became more industrialized, we were able to create things with a little less effort, some more ingenuity, and we created processes that would allow things to happen without always having the direct input all the time, the same amount of effort. So when you think machine, I don't want the women listening to think, well, I always have to grunt or I always have to work at it. No, we're thinking at a way of creating wealth that's repeatable, that's well oiled, and that
Mhm.
can operate with or without you always in the mix. So that's the thought I want us to kind of wrap our heads around, because we got other things to be doing. Like half of the summer we need to figure out entertaining the little ones or figuring out vacations, working on new things for our business, generating new ideas, being a spouse, being a partner, being all these multiple things that we are, and still in control and in command of our wealth options.
Right, right. So I'd like to just segue over to the fact that you wrote a book. And the title of your book is called Becoming a Wealthy Woman on Purpose: Your Guide to Creating Wealth Confidently and Unapologetically. I love that word, unapologetically. And I have here, get ready to push your boundaries and create an extraordinary, abundant, and fulfilling life. Can you tell me more about your book, Hadriana? And, well, first of all, what made you decide to write a book?
Yeah, that's a nuanced question. But I'll tell you that I'll say two things. One, I realized that some of the women who needed my help either at that point couldn't afford to work with me one on one, or was not within a geographical space to make that feasible. So maybe outside of a time zone, and it was just hard to do. I needed to get my message of wealth on purpose out to as many women as possible. And the other part of it was I felt a push towards legacy. I felt a push
Mm,
towards not just being a soundbite in the moment, but leaving something behind that would actually live longer than I did. And a book did it. A book did that. So it was a combination of those two major factors that had me thinking, okay, I need to do this. And I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful that I was able to get that, make it a reality, to get it out into the world. And I've heard great things from the women who have read the book, and those who haven't yet, come on, let's go.
well, so I would guess that this book is timeless, right? Because you talk about the fact that how we deal with our finances taps into, or we have to tap into our behavior. So, would you say that the the information that you're sharing here, it's not something that's going to be what's the word I'm looking for? That's going to expire. Like maybe it's good for 2023 or only good for 2021 or for this decade. You would say that this information is timeless?
Yes, it's timeless. It goes beyond currencies, it goes beyond geographical limitations. I shared the book in such a way that wherever you happen to be, at whatever stage you happen to be in your wealth journey, you can grab this book, open it, and find information for you at that stage. And that's another reason why I'm not talking about the markets now in the book. We're not talking about the latest fad in finance. I shared foundational principles that can go beyond the time frame that we're in right now. So for example, instead of talking about, how do you manage your money in times of inflation, I shared to you how to make decisions and how to look at your circumstances and make decisions with your money that is going to be beneficial within any time frame, within any situation, and to use that information as necessary. We need ways to coach ourselves. We need access to tools, resources, and supports that allow us to tap in and say, hey, I can use this now, 5 years down the road. But remember when Hadriana said, do you know what I mean? So it's timeless, it's beyond the
Yeah.
gimmicks, it's not at all based on the fads or whatever is happening right now economically. However, the information, and I'm not going to say this lightly, the information is life changing when applied.
Lovely. Elijah on here, he says it is evergreen information.
That's right. That's right.
Perfect.
Evergreen
Yeah.
indeed. Every season, every geography, every climate.
Yeah. Well, scrolling through your social media, whenever first of all, whenever we're interviewing a guest or having strategize your business online, we always want to have like that title that just grabs the audience, right? And I scroll through your social media and I just love the messages that you share. Not only are they positive, they also seem doable. And I don't mean that you share them like they're very easy tips, but again, you talked about having everybody have a new way of thinking. And you talked about in one of your posts about testing your capabilities. Now, what I'd like to know is how does testing one's capabilities lead to confidence and financial stability?
Yeah. There's nothing as empowering as seeing yourself win. And when you put the effort in and you win, you kind of want to feel that again and again and again. I think oftentimes, as women dealing with money, we've been conditioned to avoid failure. And don't get me wrong, you will not go playing games with the money that needs to pay your mortgage, take care of your utilities, put your kids through school. That's not, I'm not talking about being irresponsible. However, I think it is vitally important that women challenge themselves to learn and grow within the finance space. We need to see, you know what, how much can I actually take in? Am I actually able to do this? Can I manage ABC or XYZ? What is it within my capabilities? Can I push a few boundaries here? Can I take maybe a small risk in this space or that space? We need to be able to see how far we can go. In my situation, I'll say, with the help of my spirit guide, I refer to as God. Okay, so we're going to say, with God's help, how far can I go? Where can this take me? But we hesitate to do that because we've been conditioned to avoid failure. I've actually said to my daughter, she's in second year university now, and I'm like, child, fail fast, hurry up, fail quickly, because she still has a safe space to land, and she'll always have a safe place to land as long as we are around as her parents and her family. But let's experiment. Let's try new things. Let's keep an open mind. Let's see what else is out there. Test yourself And in testing yourself, you grow. I heard this story one time. I'm going to share it. It's about a man, but I'm still going to share it because the lesson is appropriate. This person, he prayed and he asked God to help him become really strong. So all he was told, the message that came to him was, you see this rock out there, push it. Every day, go outside and push it. The rock was ginormous, to say the least. And of course, this guy's pushing the rock and becoming well disappointed, pushing the rock every day, and the rock is not moving. What he didn't realize was that the aim was not to move the rock. The aim was to push the rock. And in pushing the rock, this person became so much stronger, so much more resilient. I mean, his body changed. He developed muscles, core strength, and all that good stuff. The point being, challenge yourself. The end result may not be $1 billion in your pocket, but the growth that you experience is tens and tens of times more valuable, more worthy of your time and space than actually the result that you may think would have come out of it. So challenge yourselves. Don't be afraid. Fail, fail, fail. You'll grow. I guarantee it.
So when a woman is going through some financial difficulty, what is her mindset when she reaches out to you that she says, you know what, I don't know. Does she say, I think it's time to challenge myself, or I don't like this feeling of failure, or just trying and pushing through, or I'm not too sure. What is that mindset? Because finances, it's such a personal thing. And of course, as you said, everything that we see, whether it's old school newspaper, and now, there's social media. So everything is just so easy to access on our phone. We could be at a bus stop, we could be at the doctor's office, it could be in between, like, waiting for something to cook on the stove, and you scroll on your phone and there's somebody talking about the hustle isn't real, and look at all of my money, and they're posing on the cars. Or even for entrepreneurs, we see those businesses, those other businesses that are doing so well, and the beautiful curated feed, to which I say, a picture is really just a picture, just to hook us in. We really don't know what's going on in the back end, but we see all of that information out there. And maybe we look inwards and it's like, oh, I'm not there yet, or even really highlights the financial difficulty that we as women are experiencing. So what is a woman typically thinking, or usually thinking, when they say, you know what, I'm going to go to Hadriana's website and fill out her contact form and book a call?
Yeah. My typical experience with my best clients, these are the ones that come to me and say, well, I have the money, but where's the life? They're the ones who they studied, they got the good job, they have the family, they've got friends, they've got community. However, what they thought money would create for them, it's not there. They're still unfulfilled. The stuff that money was able to buy for them, it's not giving them the happy feelings that they thought, and they're reaching for something they're not quite sure what it is, but they know that there is more. And typically that's the woman that would say, I don't know what else to do. Something's missing, I don't know what it is, I don't know what to do. That's the woman that would be coming and looking on my website, because it's not about a budget. Yes, we will refine and we can tweak the cash flow plans once we do that other work, but it's not about the budget. It's not leading with debt. It doesn't lead with budget. It doesn't lead with debt. Yes, they may have some debt that they feel they are not managing the best. It usually leads with, I have the money, I don't have the life. What's missing? And that's typically the start. I recently worked with a client who was working two jobs, making so
Mm.
much money. And she shared with me her biggest takeaway from our work together is to prioritize her self care. And it 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 wasn't about the work we did with her cash flow plan, and we actually found money for her to take an annual vacation with her son so that they could have that time to connect on a regular basis. That's what's important. That is for her what was the missing link. And as much as you can take all the time in the world to work all the jobs you can, if it's not going to get you that thing you value, it will continue to not meet your needs.
That's very deep. And I love that because, often we hear about and I know you're not necessarily speaking about this, but I've heard things about I don't know if it's about a coffee thing, like make your coffees instead of purchasing your coffee, or don't go on a trip, or sell your vehicle. Like there's a lot of information out there that leads with what it is you need to do without versus what it is that you still can have.
Yes, definitely. And it's not just that, it's what do you value? Because for somebody it might be super important to not make coffee at home because that's the only time someone gets to actually serve them when they go to the window. Exploring what you value is very important because when we know what we value, we know where we should prioritize our money. If we say we value family, so we're working 20 hours a day and spending no time with family, you will be conflicted. If you say you love your travel, but you took the promotion, that means you're always on call at the job and you have to beg HR to approve your vacation time. No matter how much money you make, it's not going to give you the life that you want. We need to understand what we value. And when we understand what we value, we can move our money towards those priorities. There are people who don't care about having a nice car. So getting the flashy car is of no consequence, but they see Tom, Dick, and Sally doing it. So they decide, I'm going to get the flashy car because it seems to be what wealthy people do. It does nothing for you. It turns out to be a waste of money, and you start to resent the thing even before you get to really enjoy it. When we understand what we value, we get to spend our money on things that will actually help make us happy and fulfilled. And that's the missing link between wealth and purpose.
Right. And I see a lot of conversation happening right now. And there's somebody on here that says LinkedIn user, and I cannot see your name. I would love if you can put into the chat your name. Thank you so much. And especially because you used about 4 exclamation marks when you said that you are loving this conversation. Thanks so much. And, Olajuwon, he said, I hate that coffee analogy. I hate it as well. It's one of the things that I always remember, and I do hear it come up every once in a while. And he says the best practice is to spend top dollar on the things you value and spend the bare minimum on everything else. So yeah, that's pretty good. And
Yeah, I
the
agree.
other person who I'm hoping he'll put his name, he or she will put their name. It's KN with 4 exclamation marks. KN Saunders. And she says, wealth whispers, no need to be loud. I tell you, there's a lot of like powerful comments coming from Hadriana and also coming from everybody in the chatter. I am just loving everything here. Now, Hadriana, I'd love to know, and every time I speak with a guest, I do have to put a bit of a digital marketing spin on it because that's what I do. And but I would love to know because I think as entrepreneurs, it's always I love I love it when my guests can let everyone know when it comes to social media, if they are using social media, because there are some people who say, I am online, but social media is not for me. I get my clients through this type of system that I have online, or maybe people are really great with getting referrals and things like that. Now, when it comes to social media, where is it that we can find you? And also, where is it that you love to be most when it comes to social media?
Yeah, and full transparency, I am everywhere and nowhere right now. So earlier this year, I was on most platforms: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, business, and Facebook personal profile. I even dabbled with Twitter, but mostly to read people's nonsense. But right now, I have gone very quiet on social media, and I think it's part of what I shared with you earlier. I need to be authentic in what I present. So earlier this year, I dealt with some personal stuff that just threw me for a loop. And I thought to myself, I can't be on social media putting on this face that everything's hunky dory. So I shared with my email list what was happening because I feel a more intimate connection with my email newsletter list. And I just went quiet. And in that time, I've taken the time to really think about who I want to be to my audience. And that's a blessing, by the way. I'm going to say that because not many people can just stop in their business and say, okay, I'm not moving until I get answers, until I get a directional call. So within that blessing, all that gratitude, I've stopped, I've been thinking, I've been asking myself where I want to be next, who I want to serve, and all of that. And as of right now, I'm actively using LinkedIn, and it'll be the solo platform until I'm guided to use another one, because I don't want to be in the other spaces where they say you have to. There's this misconception, I think, where you have to show your personal life in order to be authentic. And I'm like, no, that's my personal life. And I want it to remain my personal life. I cannot vet the audience who's receiving that information. And so for me, my digital marketing, my website, my email list, and LinkedIn, I have a better connection through these three media outlets.
Yeah. Again, it taps into when you talk about like behavior and things like that. Like these platforms, they work for how it is I want to live my life. And I appreciate that you shared that. Now, this might come to a surprise to many people, but I needed a bit of quiet time myself. My business was still running, but I went through a little bit of I'm feeling tired. I remember it was like near the beginning of the year. I'm feeling very tired. And also, like, what direction do I want to take my business in? And for me, I just shifted a little bit. So I was doing my weekly newsletters. I have an amazing BA and an amazing social media coordinator who's, putting that stuff together and the content together. And then I had my ads going, but I just went a little bit quiet on my social media. And maybe to other business owners, it might not be the good thing. I was able to afford to be able to do that. I had people still reaching out, and when I think about it, and I'm sharing this because I do digital marketing, but there were 2 months in a row when I had only 3 social media posts each. But I wanted to show up in this new direction and also attract a certain type of feeling, certain type of clients, etc. So I totally understand. I totally
Yeah,
understand.
absolutely, absolutely. And the benefit is well worth it. I think I think review and reflection needs to be part of every online strategy. We can't just keep doing and doing and doing. And in all honesty, if it's not working, stop. There needs to be some refinement, there needs to be some renewal, and that applies for our finances as well. So it doesn't help if you're hitting a platform or using a platform that's consistently getting you no results. And that's quantifiable and quality results as well, because we know that it goes both ways. But we need to have that reflection time. We need to stop long enough to actually look around and ask ourselves, well, what's happening here? And make adjustments as needed. So you'll see me on LinkedIn. You will see me every now and then. I might splutter something somewhere else, but the core areas, the platforms where I will focus, they've been identified.
Right. Okay. Well, as we start to conclude, and again, very thankful that you're on here. I didn't ask you, Hadriana, where can we get your book, Becoming a Wealthy Woman on Purpose, your guide to creating wealth confidently and unapologetically?
Oh, fantastic. So the book is on Amazon right now across all their regional offices and locations. And I'm actually currently working to get it into some local bookstores and online. So think Barnes and
Mm.
Noble, think Indigo, think all the other ones, big and small. We're working on increasing our distribution. And I'll be so excited. Oh, I forgot to mention it's on Audible. I read it, I recorded it because so
Ooh.
many people asked about that. It is currently on Audible, so you can go online and download that specific title, and I will be in your ears. Yes.
I love that because your voice is so powerful, and just hearing the feeling and the tone. Okay, that's really great to know. I see that Troy has joined us from Pensacola, Florida. Thank you so much for joining us, Troy. Um, any promotions coming up, Hadriana?
You know what? I tell you, the best promotion you can do is to invest in yourself. The best thing you can do
Ooh.
for yourself is invest in yourself. And I thought the other day during my morning walk, I thought to myself, wow, I have helped women not just eliminate hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, and I can prove that, but I've also helped them create wealth by investing and introducing them to opportunities and so on and so forth. So the promotion today is get on my contact list, call me and start investing in you, because it's not about is she going to cut her price? It's about which opportunity are you leaving behind by not doing the work on yourself to create wealth for you and your family. So yeah, there you go. Promotion time.
Ooh, turning the mirror around to to the audience. I love it. Hadriana, I have a couple of questions here. What would you say is one of the top feelings that someone has after they've worked with you?
Um, I think relief. I think relief and confidence. Relief that someone can actually help them carry that burden that they've carried probably very quietly for a long time. And confidence after we've done the work that the vision that they were given is no longer just a pipe dream, but an actual highly probable eventuality. Those two factor highly in my client experiences.
Right. And I was going to ask you about a tip, but I think you shared that tip when you talked about, promoting ourselves, right? That was
Oh,
perfect.
absolutely. A hundred
Yeah.
percent. By all means, let's be unapologetic about our superpowers, the great things that we do for ourselves and for each other.
Yeah. And where can we find out more about you? What would you say are the best besides LinkedIn? So LinkedIn, everybody, Hadriana, we can find you at Hadriana Leo on LinkedIn.
Yes, ma'am, Hadriana Leo. And the
Excellent.
next best place would be www.moneynavigator.ca. That would be the next best place to find me. At the bottom, you'll have the opportunity to join my newsletter where you'll get intimate connection details as well as tips and all of that, the great resources and supports delivered directly to you.
Okay, well, thank you so much again, Hadriana, for being a guest. And everyone, thank you for watching. And I'm all about repurposing content. So this will be here on LinkedIn, and also it will be uploaded to my YouTube channel, Dee Boswell-Buck, as well. And at some point, we're working towards it, getting some of this information up on to the website at dboswellbuck.com. And again, while I'm thanking everybody, and Kayan is like, I've got my copy. She does a lot of exclamation marks and like repeating of letters, but I think that's like just letting everybody know, like, yes, this is what happened. And
Yes, he's
Elijah,
excited.
he shared the link to your book and to your website. So thank you, Elijah. You made things even a little bit easy for me because I have my daughter to pick up from school. So you saved me a little bit of time there. And yeah, Hadriana, thank you again for being a guest. And that's all, folks. So we'll see everybody next week on another live episode of Strategize Your Business Online. Bye, everybody.
Bye.